Good afternoon to you all. Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks to Miranda, of course, Nicole, to all volunteers of NaramataSlow. Thanks to you all to stay here together to talk, to share ideas and projects with us. I am very proud to stay with my left with Pauline and my right. Fantastic. The first woman that we met when we came many years ago now, not just 2009 in Canada, because they asked in Cowichan Bay to become Cittaslow at first. It was a pioneer because we were born in 2008 institutionally as international movement and in 1999 as Italian association. So, what is Cittaslow? Cittaslow, it's a way to not to be, this morning we are talking about, not to be a bystanders of our history. We are co-protagonists. We have to do something. We have to choose what to do. To be better, to build, capacity building, yes, but also to be able to create the future, our future, the future of the community, of course, the community of Naramata, of course, but the community of all in all communities in the world, because Cittaslow is so interesting, not only approach. Cittaslow is a philosophy, but it is also very practical approach to the daily life of the communities in the world. Now we are about 308. I show you in the the hall is so large that I need. Sorry, we can. I can go there. Yes. Anyway, before to go there, I remark that we born 26 years ago in a little town in Italy, Chianti. Later, we expand in Italy and first in Germany, in Norway, and from 2008 we change our charter, statute, and become international association. In 2009, a Canadian asked to start, very, very enlightened, and it is probably why we born, because some mayors and some communities were more far-sighted of others, looking far, looking in advance, pioneer in the ideas of positive slowness, inspired by slow food, but not only. Slow food is a part of the project. This is a more commitment because there is the dialogue between the mayors and, of course, the citizen living. Why Cittaslow? But, of course, it's an important challenge worldwide, so important, against many things, many negative, negative externality as the breaking of the dishes. No, but against fast modernity, but not in absolute. We are a part of reflexive modernity. We are very inside the contemporary age. You know what happens in the world. The President Migliorini told about the peace. Cittaslow, it's from the beginning a project of peace, but not peace in the negative way. Exists the negative peace when the peace is the result of arrogance. There is, the peace that somebody impose by army or not, but impose with the arrogance. Exists the positive peace. There is the way to take off from the table the reasons of conflict, the reasons of violence. It is the peace of the communities, the peace of Cittaslow. Cittaslow is in 33 countries. Can we go? 33 counties, at the moment 308 cities, the network, 1 million of citizens global. It's an interesting movement because it is a partial, but not so partial, very important, and the weight of Cittaslow, it's important for the future. Please. The advantage for being Cittaslow, why we propose Cittaslow, why Naramata is Cittaslow, there are many reasons. In short, the sharing good practices. Yes, at the end of the PDF, we introduce 2 case history about the Cittaslow tourism policies about outdoor, but we could choose social policies, we could choose food, healthy. And then the tourism and the outdoor, there is the mayor, one of the mayor of Italian delegation, is Luca Della Bitta, is the coordinator of a working group of Cittaslow, because we are working about working group. Good living for all citizens. Yes, we are for all citizens, all citizenship, respecting each other, residential care for young people, families, and elderly. We are working with the municipality, mayors, and citizens to be able to have a new residentiality. It's not a problem only on Naramata that in winter you are slim and in summer you become a city, quiet. No, it's not a problem of yours only. It's a problem not in all Cittaslow, but in many Cittaslow. Services, infrastructures, but also environmental policies, transportation, all is complicated to manage in different shape, in the seasons. But important is not to become elitistic only for a part of the society, to maintain the community. Maintain the community means to maintain the young people, the young families, the access to real estate. In which way? With regulation also by the district, by the local government. The quite secret of the success of Cittaslow in the world is it is an association of mayors, of administration, and so the citizen accompany, as in your case of NaramataSlow, accompany the choices by the public powers. The positive mix, can create a positive and better conditions for many matters. In short. Civil friendship, coexistence, respect for differences, yes. With Pauline we can speak, but identity is not never at scientific level nowadays a concept. So identity is a slippery concept. Identity is moving, the culture is moving, but important is not to mix, to create the culture of all cultures. Every culture can remain itself, but a dialogue to face, to talk with all other, overall respect each other. This is respect for differences. Promotion of there are also advantages, are also very practical. This is the philosophy. But in practice, we are very operational. We are operational. And so we have an important tanks of project, of solution. Cittaslow, it is also a solutions hub. You need a solution, you can check in the global archive of Cittaslow at headquarters, digital of course, what you need. You can have a call, international call. There is somebody that has just solved this kind of problem of matter. Yes, you probably find. Promotion, you have something to promote, for example, the fantastic wine of this very lucky piece of Canada for a wine producer. You have to promote the wine of Naramata. Yes, you have 1 million of people distribute in 33 countries supporting your production. participation in founding calls. We have also the multinational project, and some use in several fields, from education exchanges by schools, for environment exchanges, for other projects, also social policies. Joint project between networked cities, yes. Sometimes there are the possibility to have B2B relationship between two Cittaslow. If Naramata are looking for another town, members in France or wine producing, or in Italy or in Turkey, there is a special delegation from Turkey today here. Where is, I don't see. Ah, they are them, yes. Fantastic. Hortas. And so, joint project between internationalization and internationalization. I just told you. I don't insist. We are very international association. Project table in concrete, please. Another one. There is many fields. We have some responsible in the network. There is a mayor or a community take the responsibility of coordination of each of this. In this all, we have in this moment the coordinator of the tourism outdoor working tables. And so there is also some members in the agriculture or agrobiology. There are arriving from Turkey in these hours a delegation from Antalya. Antalya is a member of the metropolis, Cittaslow metropolis, because we are also interested to improve the quality in the neighborhoods in the larger cities. It is new, with a separate pattern of quality. Of course, academy. Academy means training and teaching each other. We have an important contact with the academic and scientific level. We are not alone, little communities in the world, alone, mayors and cities. No, we have linked with a lot of university. Here there is a representative in the whole, Giacomo degli Antoni, they will, and Giuseppe Roma. They will participate in the tables, working table later. And Giacomo degli Antoni is from Parma University in Italy, very specialist for law and food quality and security. And Giuseppe Roma is a urban planner, very famous in Italy and in Europe, etc. The contact between academic level, scientific, municipality with political responsible, technical responsible officers, and citizen community, very important role. It is Cittaslow in short. Okay, we go. Cittaslow tourism, this is the many, okay, Cittaslow tourism. I take one example, only one example of all, about tourism. Example of method. What means Cittaslow tourism? Cittaslow tourism means, this is an example of project that we are concluded the last weeks in a little town in North Italy. It is, we can build a future together. And then a little town, not touristic, quite not zero, but they don't live on tourism activities, but they live for food production. It is in Parma district. Please go on. And we propose to create a new opportunity promoting the trails, but not a theoretical trails, a very specific trails connected 6 Cittaslow from the Polesine Zibello, the little town in which we propose this new perspective for the economical activities of tourism, and connected 6 Cittaslow from the Po River. There is a big river in North Italy, the name is Po, and arrive to the Tyrrhenian Sea, to the Mediterranean Sea, where there is another Cittaslow town, it is Levanto. It was very successful. All mayors in 4 days write a letter of intent, of interest to join to the pre-project. And so now we are in the level to operative project, and all the 6 municipalities are, but they are in 3 different regions, not in the same district, or so not obvious, not natural, no, because they are Cittaslow, because we have andiamo avanti, we have next, no, we have had a lot of meeting with population, and the role of the community is crucial, because it's not a theoretical top-down project because the headquarters of Cittaslow invent this. It is a proposal concrete to share with the community. The community take immediately with enthusiasm this proposal and work and modify and adapt to their needs this opportunity. And so there are many meetings, and so we have created this. You are creating this new pedestrian valorization, pedestrian trails, also cycle. Yesterday we have a cycle here. Please, from idea to the outline, story, structure, and product. Product tourism, go on. Of course, you need a point to start, a point to arrive. We choose normally the point with the public transportation service, railways, for example, from one railways to another railways to be very sustainable in this sense. Stages, point of interest, services for business, and also for managing. Okay, real development, planning, financing, cooperative. We put the ingredients of the project on the frame. Sorry, I have only 15 minutes. I am in a hurry in this moment, not so slow. I understand. I cannot introduce scientifically the project. We go on. The route design. And so in the map, there is just study the map. The map, the itinerary is shared with the technical offices of each municipalities and district that we are crossing, and laid to choose the different itinerary by bike and by feet. Sometimes they are the unique, the same one. In another time, in another case not. And at last, we, during our stage with the community, we introduce a special approach, not only technical and operational approach to create a new trails as outdoor tourism, but Cammino di San Rocco is another example of community trail. Avanti. A community in Trentino, Dolomites in North Italy, invented a new approach, similar but not more light. With the priority is the commitment of the community. The community created the project. It's similar from the first one, but not the same. Volunteers, but volunteers into an economic frame, of course, and so yes, was thanks to the commitment and passion of residents, stakeholders, the municipality, 1, 2, 3 little towns. This is more limited, but I take to your attention because it's a parallel approach. More light, but very strong, probably more fitting on your reality. I don't know. This is. And I not finished, but if the mayor would want intervene, Luca della Bitta, because we have the mayor. The last example is the Via Spluga. Via Spluga is a very just, active and effective project. It's another part of Italy North between Switzerland and Italy, please. How many years? Quanti anni è che? 21 years of old, 21 years old, these trails, and now it's an example. It's a pilot project for all, because it's not only a trails, it is really a green infrastructures, carbon zero, but very important because change the little microeconomies along the trails. I think you have just these experiences, but you can improve. It is only I would inspire you more than you just have. And so 20 years, old connection, a cooperation between territories, the importance of sign, the maintenance, the adoption and permanence of the trails as yours, but finalized to, and promo marketing is important, because if you use the tools of Cittaslow, for example, the web international platform, you could promote this kind of offers in the green tourism. Tomorrow, during our coordination committee, in another hall, more little hall, we will introduce the first example of packages for Naramata. Naramata, we are studying with our technicians for AI, artificial intelligence. We try to put the ingredients to our disposal. Some ingredients, some data are wrong, are to update. And we try to compose an offer of package of sustainable tourism for Naramata. Tomorrow we, not with smile, but we check that. We produce this draft and we propose to the municipality or to the community. The community change, mistake or update or complete the offers. And then we will put it in the market, in the general market. It's very easy, very simple, and it is quite a new method to improve the offer of local. It's okay, Via Spluga. Okay, the stakeholders, this is a very interesting and complete project that we can share with you. Andiamo avanti, good. We'll go. Environment and climate, local economy, local society. It was a very important impact. Luca, if you want to say something, add? Yeah? No?
Here, Luca.
Look, in 1 year, they are about packages. In 1 year, they are selling about one package per day. But in the package are not accounted the individual. The individual are not possible to know the individual, only touristic packages. 600,000 euro, the target, etc. Prego, se vuoi aggiungere qualcosa.
Sì, ha già detto praticamente tutto il segretario, però aggiungo che la Via Spluga è partita dalla più importante ricchezza che ognuno di noi ha, ovvero il territorio in cui si vive.
Yeah. Okay, he said that Mr. Olivetti has already told you everything about Via Spluga. But he added that Via Spluga comes from the richest part we all have, which is our territory and the love for our territory.
I numeri che vedete su questa diapositiva sono i pacchetti che ha venduto direttamente il consorzio turistico della nostra città e della valle. In realtà, siccome l'accesso al percorso è libero, noi stimiamo, abbiamo dei contapassaggi, che ogni anno sulla via Spluga transitano circa 10.000 persone, provenienti non solo dall'Italia, dai paesi vicini, ma anche da diversi paesi del mondo.
The numbers that you can see are the packages, so the tourist packages sold by the tourist consortium of the city of Chiavenna, but also of the whole valley. But the access to Via Spluga is a free access, so they cannot exactly count, but they have a step counting that counts about 10,000 people, not only Italian and not only from Chiavenna, of course, but from everywhere, from Europe and abroad.
Quando il progetto è partito, nel centro della nostra città, nel centro storico, si vedevano le prime persone con lo zaino in spalla e tutti le guardavano in maniera un po' strana. Oggi è una presenza quotidiana e questo significa, oltre a far conoscere il territorio, davvero una grande ricchezza per la nostra città, per gli imprenditori, per i ristoranti, per gli alberghi. Quindi è stato davvero un'esperienza di grande sviluppo territoriale, sempre in un'ottica di estrema sostenibilità. Non puntiamo a grandissimi numeri, anche se sono importanti, ma alla qualità della proposta, quindi dentro la nostra realtà di piccola città al centro delle Alpi.
So when the project started in Chiavenna, you can see in the city center so many tourists walking with their backpack, and people looked at him in a weird way, saying who they are, where did they come from. But right now it's so it's so common that you can see people working all around, and it's a very important treasure for the territory, for restaurants, hotels, and entrepreneurs, and everywhere in Chiavenna. They do not focus on the quantity of people, but on the quality of the experience.
Thank you so much. Have you seen? I stop immediately. Thank you for attention. I remark only quality, not quantity. Quantity, yes, but with the sense of the limit. Because Cittaslow, not only for tourists, but in all categories of our action, is promoting the sense of the limit. Because some people, also your neighbors, but I don't want to enter in this political debating, are without limits. And so the limits, it's the limits of the planet. It is the limit, of course we are in the limits. Cittaslow, at the beginning, in the 1999, when we born, it was a proposal in the fast world. Now, it's not a choice, it is a necessity. We need to be slow, but not delayed, advanced. To be slow means to be very advanced. This reflexive contemporaneity, reflexing before to decide. It is perfect for and fitting for the political decisions. We have a lady from the district, the name?
Adrian.
Oh, fantastic, we told. But also for each citizen, for our daily behavior, because we can cooperate and readdress the choices and the future of our community. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Pierre and Luca. The inspiration and the segue for that big picture is how adaptable Cittaslow has been to the community of Naramata, and I think that is the power of the philosophy, that you can take these fundamental pillars and apply it to what you need in your community to make it thrive and be a better place for everyone to live, which ultimately is where we landed here. We thought it would be beneficial from the perspective of people that are interested to understand the genesis of Cittaslow and Naramata. So briefly, I'll stick to the slides, and I will be Naramata fast, not NaramataSlow. Our local business association, which is called Discover Naramata, who have gratefully helped everyone get to where we are today, they had applied for the designation in 2009, I think it was. Was that right? I don't see the thing here. I can't remember now. Anyways, so it began with a focus on business and economic development and trying to identify what really our tourism offer was. That was really the motivation that I think we started with. Over time, it kind of lapsed, and there was not a lot of activity within the designation. It was held. The membership dues were paid, sometimes late, but there wasn't a lot of energy behind it. So Discover Naramata then said, well, we don't see the value in continuing with this. And there was a group of us who were largely business owners within the community that our businesses were, they were aligned with the values of Cittaslow. And we felt that it was a very powerful designation and tool to give up. So we came together and said, we're not going to give this up. Let's form a different group and take it over. So we did. We got together largely as a business group again, but very quickly realized it wasn't about business. The truth and the power comes from authenticity, and it comes from creating community. And if you don't have that belief at the root, it will never manifest itself in anything that is really true. So there was a couple of core projects that we started with. Number one, philosophically, was communication. And it's a very simple method that we realized a sign that people drive by every day gave us a tool to come together as a community and speak to issues that we thought were important to promote. And it's an analog piece. Most people can read. I shouldn't assume that everybody can, but seniors in our community not necessarily are on digital platforms. So this particular sign was a very core and fundamental part of where we began. And then I guess we can switch to the next slide. The other very important piece for us to build and begin to understand one another is food and wine and a shared table. So we started 10 years ago. Our first event was a long table supper, and this was held down at Center Beach. So many of you guys were there earlier today. We were blessed by a sunny day because it was a major leap of faith, and we love a long table with lots of delicious food. Philosophically, it was about celebrating what we grow and make in Naramata. So we challenged all the participants to bring a dish, essentially an elevated potluck. Like it's not super complex. However, we had the benefit of one of our board members, Jay and Wendy, who had agreed to raise pigs. So for the year, we would contribute all the byproduct from the community to feed the pigs, and they would stay up all night on the night of the harvest supper, roast the pigs, drive them down from their farm and up this road here, and we would have the pig along with all this incredible shared food at a community supper. And so for the last 10 years, that has carried us through pandemics. We had a takeout during the pandemic, but we persevered. It was 10 years in a row. And it gave us an opportunity to learn about our neighbors. Even in a small town, it's shocking how many people you don't know until you sit down and share a glass of wine and something to eat with them. So that's been a really powerful core to our evolution. The other big project that we have achieved collectively is the Center Beach acquisition project. So we worked with our area representative, and essentially it evolved out of COVID when we realized how much demand public space was seen. We were talking to the fellow that managed our local Manitou Beach Park, and he was emptying the dumpsters like 3 times as often as he did in a normal year, because that was the only place we could go, was in the parks. And so there was divestiture of property. Obviously, Naramata is not a huge place, but that was only the second time in the last 100 years that the community has added another park. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn there, Adrian. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds pretty good. It was close. Anyway, and we raised over $1 million in 3 months. So we used a campaign of Green Ribbon. And largely it was about us as a group and our role as community builders, asking the community if something was important. And so for us, that's kind of like one of the big lessons, I think, is that asking the question, what is important to you, right? And then as a result, you have beautiful laneways, you have an incredible school garden, all these pieces that really come from drinking wine together and having a great community table. Other very core pieces are supporting our community market. So that's held every Wednesday from June till September. Again, speaking to local food systems, encouraging local businesses and producers, and just quite a remarkable economic, economic driver for both our not-for-profit, so that allows us to support other projects, but also for the community. I mean, if you come to Manitou Beach in the height of the summer, you would not believe the amount of traffic that is down there. So for a small town, the market has been massive. And yeah, so this has been the really powerful piece for us, and it wasn't until I think some of us went to Italy 2 years ago and really started to create relationships and connections with other people within this movement, to understand that our realities can be so different in terms of, I mean, I am always struck by this conversation I had with the mayor of Cyprus, and their reality is not going to war with their neighbor. Like that is their drivers, to get along with their neighbor. However, the same tools that Cittaslow gives us, this umbrella, can make our own communities so strong. And so that flexibility and like not being so prescriptive, but being inspiring. And to Pierre's point, it's not slow, it's about intent and being intentional. And I think that those pillars have really seen some very positive things evolve in Naramata since the last 10 years, since our little group has really ramped things up. So that's what we have.
Mara, would you like to tell us your story about Cittaslow and the reason that you are here on this panel today? So Mara Jerdigan, everybody.
Well, the reason I'm on the panel is not because we're the most active Cittaslow in Canada or the world. As a matter of fact, we've been a bit dormant for the last few years from COVID, so it was very inspiring, Miranda, to hear that you guys were kind of dormant for a while, and you didn't give up. And I got an email one day saying, we've had to take our child off life support, and I was like, what? And they meant Cittaslow, and they were going to dissolve it. And I said, it's an ideology. You can't dissolve an ideology. So I guess I'm kind of the founder of Cittaslow in Cowichan, and it was the first one in Canada. And the way that came about is I was very involved with Slow Food as a volunteer for more than 10 years as president of Slow Food Canada, which is really just a big volunteer job. And I used to go to Italy for the major slow food events, and it was at one of those major Terra Madre Saloni del Gusto that I met Pier Giorgio. And I was living in the Cowichan, and I was attracted to the Cowichan because I was a chef that became so political about food. I was kind of a liability to hire. So I had to just grow my own food and cook it and feed people. So I had a lovely guest house in the Cowichan. First I had a farm and a cooking school and a vineyard and a husband. And I don't recommend anybody plant Pinot Noir for your marriages. And so I moved my cooking school and my child and my chicken coop and everything else to another farm where I had a beautiful guest house and continued to teach cooking classes and got really involved with slow food, and it gave me a lot of meaning in my life. And so I was very aware of guest impressions when tourists came to the region, and we got some really great articles. And so people came with very high expectations. I'd get people from California and New York, and in California, they're eating produce a lot earlier than we were. And I would have like miner's lettuce and maybe a couple of oyster mushrooms that I could find, or Nootka rose. There really wasn't very much food. And then people would go to Duncan, which is kind of the largest part of the Cowichan Valley, and it's just a long highway line of fast food restaurants. And, the real essence of the food in the Cowichan, as we know, is indigenous. And none of that was reflected. And what I always liked about slow food, it was a very positive movement. If it's one thing to go out with your placard and be against something, but I always found that food was my instrument of social change, and that if you can take something delicious and positive and put it in somebody's mouth and they actually ingest it, it's a very, very powerful way to change people. So I was motivated by that, but I was also discouraged by some of the things I saw in the local community, particularly around development. And one little story I'd like to tell you is when my ex-husband and I first bought our farm, we were really broke, and we had to cobble everything together with a bunch of jobs off the farm to plant this vineyard and get established. But we were full of passion and full of positivity. And the real estate agent that sold us our farm, it was actually a 5.4 acre farm that had been divided from a 25 acre farm. So there were fields all around us, and we bought 5.4 acres and a house, which was just what we could afford, and started to get going, planting all kinds of things in a vineyard. And one day, the real estate agent that sold us the farm came to me. This was not very long after we bought it, and we were pretty broke. And he offered me, he knew I was very passionate about local food and getting young people onto the farm and things like that. He offered me $5,000 to go speak at a council meeting in favor of agricultural land division. So basically for a developer, so that a big piece of it was a 60-acre piece of land, and they wanted to divide it down to 2-acre lots. Well, the last best use of the land, except for nature, is farming, producing food. And we know that now as oil prices are so high. And so a series of things happened. We have a Costco on Vancouver Island that I haven't been to in over 20 years. And that Costco sits on the land that used to be a Garry Oak Meadow. And a Garry Oak Meadow is a very unique ecosystem that supported the growth of camas. And camas was a wild food that was traded up and down the coast. And here in the Okanagan, I think often you have subdivisions that are named after what it was before it was built on. So these negative things had an effect on me, but I wanted to have a positive approach to it. So Area D, which is the area of Cowichan Bay, because we're very much like Naramata, we're part of a larger regional district. So the whole Cowichan is not a Cittaslow. We started with Cowichan Bay because we had a really unique circumstance there, and we kind of did an inventory. We did a beautiful map by a woman named Bryony Penn, who worked at UVic, and she was she had a PhD in geology or in geography and learned like traditional map making in Scotland. And she did this big, beautiful map of past, present, and future of food sources in Area D. And we just started to celebrate all the people in our community who were mostly all Slow Food members already, and what they were doing. So I want to speak just to the importance of the ALR, and for anybody who doesn't know what that is, if you're not from Canada or BC, it's the Agricultural Land Reserve. And there's always a lot of backroom stuff that goes on between the Agricultural Land Commission doesn't always make the right decisions. Sometimes you have a representative from your own community who's making decisions on that community. So for a while they mixed it up, and you know, I'm not totally 100% up to speed because I've mostly just been working and cooking for the past few years. But that's really about all I wanted to say about why we started it. I just saw it as you mentioned a tool, and it's a tool in the toolbox that we have. But what I want to say is, being here, I'm really inspired by, because we're kind of here to get inspired and to make connections and to see some examples of what's worked well. And this morning was wonderful. It's great to be back in the company of the Italians who do it so well. Like, why don't we all go to Italy? They have something there that we want. And part of it is all those little towns were designed before the car was. So the walkability is key. And Naramata is very walkable. And especially, you know, there's not a lot of cars around right now. But the Cowichan is bigger farms, and people kind of get in their car and go from here to there. So I really appreciated that walk. I'm looking forward to learning more from lots of you. I'm happy to share any experiences that I have that can maybe help. And, you know, I spent many years volunteering, and we don't always have time or the luxury or the economic opportunity to do it, but I can see that it really is the volunteerism that makes the community go round and the connection. And I've always believed that some of the best things don't cost very much at all. They're just about connecting. So thank you.
Thanks, Mara. Very inspiring. And we're going to have another inspiring talk by Julie Morin.
Hi, everyone. Just to say, I'm a French Canadian, so I'll take a little bit English, but I read for the cause today. Is it a great pride that I speak to you today about the recent history of Lac Mégantic in Quebec through the lens of our commitment to the Cittaslow movement. As we maybe know, our community was profoundly affected by the Lac Mégantic train derailment tragedy on July 2013. Since then, we have undertaken much more than a rebuild, a true collective reflection on the kind of city we wanted to become. It is in this spirit that Lac Mégantic became a Cittaslow city in 2018, thanks to a group of citizens who, while searching for inspiring initiatives from around the world, discovered the movement. This choice reflected our commitment to place quality of life, sustainable development, and citizens' well-being at the heart of our decision. I was a citizen, and I became mayor to make Cittaslow value reality and identity. Today, concretely, Cittaslow is reflected in a number of flagship projects that rely on our community and are widely recognized. We are the first international dark skies reserve, thanks at the Astrolab at Mont-Mégantic. In terms of energy, we have developed the first microgrid in Quebec. In our new downtown, more than 3,000 solar panels power around 30 interconnected buildings, making them energy self-sufficient. We also highlight our build heritage, notably through the illumination of our church, a meaningful collective project that earned Lac-Mégantic an international award in 2015. Our vision is also reflected in everyday life. A highlight developed an accessible network of cycling paths, numerous intergenerational activities, and a special focus on the warm welcome we extend daily in our community. For example, each year we celebrated the birth of newborn's baby through a community events, as well as the arrival of new citizens whom we invited to sing the city's guest books. During the summer, inspired by the International Greeters Association, visitors have the opportunity to discover our city with passionate volunteers, citizens who offer guided tours of our downtown area. Cittaslow principles are fully integrated into our strategic planning. They drive all of our decisions. On the ground, the Cittaslow Mégantic logo is visible in many places, across our communication tools and on banners installed along downtown street lights. The movement and our local initiative are also explained to the Marche du Vent Discovery Trail, which runs through the downtown area. Starting this summer, we will take another step forward to the reconstruction of the Cittaslow place along the river, a place designed for connection with nature, inspired by the principle of Shirin Yuku, or forest bathing, where a large snail sculpture will stand at the entrance of the new park. Finally, in December 25, Lac-Mégantic was recognized by the Quebec Association for Public Health for its leadership and resilience, mainly through its commitment to the Cittaslow movement, earning recognition and learning well-living city in Quebec. In January, the city, in partnership with Public Health, launched a guide entitled Slowly Down to Live Better, inspired by the Cittaslow municipal model. This tool is designed to support municipalities of Quebec wishing to promote a more balanced pace of life for their citizens, inspiring experience of Lac-Mégantic, the first certified Cittaslow city in Quebec and the only French one in Canada. For all these reasons, today Lac-Mégantic is recognized far beyond its borders and as model of resilience and innovation. We have chosen to slow down, yes, but above all, to move forward better together. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here with you.
Merci beaucoup, Julie. Okay, and finally we will hear from Pauline Terbasket. And stand. Yeah.
Chicho, Nahoken. Chicho, Nahoken.
Once again, I give much gratitude to the Cittaslow Naramata committee that reached out to me in regard to the participation and the acknowledgement of the indigenous people of this land, the Silks Okanagan. I am Suikist, Isquist, Samasteen, Lightning Rainbow Woman, Pauline Turbasket, Executive Director of the Okanagan Nation Alliance. And it's from that forum I will share a few words about being involved in the slow movement and a bit about why I'm here and was invited to share a bit of perspective of why it works for Indigenous peoples as we rebuild our nations, our communities, in every way in terms of the restoration of our lands and our waterways and our peoples. This all caused by the displacement of Indigenous peoples around the world in terms of their home territories. As one of our guests just shared, we love our territories. We love our children. We love our families. We love our homes. And it's that reciprocity in terms of sharing a few words that we look to the future and want it to be different for and better for those people to be. My friend here from Cowichan mentioned ideology. And we have a worldview of that in our language. I think it's important to acknowledge that for the Okanagan people, our creation came from food. And our creation stories of being here and why we cannot go anywhere else. This is where we are from. There is no other language. The beauty of Indigenous languages, the beauty of languages and cultural diversity is through understanding the place in which we come from. I've had the pleasure and the honor of being in your home territories, in Turin, in Rome, in many, many beautiful communities because of Slow. Slow Food International, Slow Fish International. And the contacts that were made and the reach of allies, settlers, friends, relations saying, Pauline, the work your people do for Intiktik, our chief salmon, our original food, is needing to be told. My friend mentioned camas. In our language, it's chakalutsa. And they're getting ready now. So we need to be getting ready now. It's spring. It's time to start to prepare for harvesting so we can all eat. And our salmon was near extinction in this area on the Columbia Basin water system. And we've worked tirelessly, our leadership, our communities, our elders, our language speakers, our knowledge keepers, to revive and restore and reintroduce salmon back to their original homelands, from the estuary of Astoria, Oregon, to the headwaters of Revelstoke, British Columbia, a transboundary river system that contains 19 hydroelectric dams that our salmon cross to get home, to feed the people to be. And so our project in reintroduction of Okanagan sockeye salmon to the river system began a long time ago with active lobbying and demonstration and civil disobedience and countless letters and countless meetings that still continue to this day to restore and have the ability to feed our children with our salmon. Our foods can be simple. Our foods can feed us and continue to feed us and remind us of responsibility. We have a creation story, as I was sharing, of the 4 food chiefs. Intik-tik, which is our salmon, Sia, our berry, Speetlum, our root, and Skimheast, our 4-legged, which is deer, elk, all those red meat beings. And in our creation story, it was those 4 food chiefs that said and seen us 2-leggeds coming. We were coming, they visioned us coming. Ideology, worldview, thinking of our mind, our heart, our connection to one another, spirit. And they knew they would need to eat. And what would feed them? So they had counsel. And I'm telling you a really short version of our story, so I'm not doing it justice. And the chiefs met, the leaders met, and they said, okay, the people to be are coming. And they will need to be fed. And they counseled, and they went out and thought and talked to their relatives, and they came back and said, we will give our lives up for you to be on the principle that you will always take care of us. And I get emotional every time because they really do need us to do that. And we have children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren coming, and we want them to be fed. We want them to have clean water. We want them to harvest and grow their food and to hunt and to fish and to create opportunities. Just hearing and being inspired by the panelists so far, I think we need to continue to share a bit about that and honor, the spirit and the determination of all of us in this room and in the kitchen and outside for committing to that work, committing to that vision, that goal, that idea of doing better. And in our language, you know, and I'm going to share this.
Chichu, nahoken. Chichu, nahoken.
That's our Insilkchin name for this area. Chik Bukakain, the home of the bald eagle, is what Naramata is translated into. Home of the bald eagle. And again, once again, our territory is by the names of our relations. Timiuch, all living things, seen and unseen. Our Timiuch is our land. Our Timiuch is each other. Our Timiuch is our feelings. Our Timiuch is our thinking. Our Timiuch is our extending to the art of the possible that inspires and can move us, can create the energy to move us forward. Timhulau is our land in which we stand, the land, the trees, the rocks, the earth. And so when I think about Ingrid Jarrett, a leader of this community in the valley, who came to our tribal council office in 2012 and said, Intik needs to be part of the Architaste at Slow Food at Salon de Gasto Terra Madre. There's a bigger purpose. Your story needs to be told about your people's work to restore and revitalize our salmon. And she came into our boardroom and, you know, I'm going, we have lots to do. You know, like an international committee. I had not heard of SLOW before. And I traveled to Turin, and then that's where, you know, not only that experience, but it added to my experience of the universal family, the universal connection, the universal work that all of us undertake to take care of our homes and our families and our foods. And so it was inspiring, it was engaging, and it creates an energy that in this Timiuch, in this air, in this place of taking action. So I thank each and every one of you for taking action. And in our language as well, we have a saying in our greetings, white chiap, white chiap. And that is, we've all arrived here together. Every one of us in this room have arrived here together. Every one of us, Wai Chiap, brings our ancestors with us. Every one of your ancestors has brought you here. Even when you think, how did I get here? How did I arrive here? How did I arrive in Turin? I believe my ancestors brought me to this point because of the good work, the good intention that we all undertake to rebuild a better world, to bring balance back into our coexistence with the natural world. And for Indigenous people, that is not an easy undertaking. It can be simple when you talk to an elder. They'll just come and say, come and have a cup of tea, or just come into my kitchen. Or for myself, yes, we can meet and talk and share and have some fun and laughs. But it's really about knowing place, knowing where you are. So this is what, Jennifer, I'm so grateful for in the invitation, for our guests to know, and for all of us to know, this place was not empty. There were people here that harvested and raised their families from the land and had a responsibility to the 4 food chiefs, our creation story, that we would always look after the land and all things so we could all thrive and be with one another in this time. And we're inspired by our ancestors coming. Why, Chiap, they are with us here. So we can look forward together. So we can listen together. So we can be together here. And it's using Western science, and it's using traditional Indigenous knowledge and local knowledge to be here, to do what we all want to do. And you'll meet a young man, Skukalau, tonight, who will share some cultural knowledge with you at your dark viewing or dark skies event tonight. He will share with you a bit more of this understanding of how important our star nation is. Because we're humble. There's a humility as we are on this little speck of the universe, and never take that for granted. So yes, inspiring, slow, Cittaslow, slow food, slow health, slow dental, slow banking, slow fish. It's growing, like it's what we need to do. And you know, some will disagree with you. Someone was talking about the real estate market, the developers who flip, slab, and that's supposed to be progress. I won't go there. But I'm gonna, we've done incredible things with partners, with government, and we have a ways to go. There's some difficult challenges in our world today. And so we must be local. We must be good. We must be clean. We must be fair. And those principles resonate with Indigenous people. Those principles resonate with all people. And how do we continue to influence change, social change in a really good way? That's I guess, where volunteerism comes from. It's self-determination. It's all of those beautiful things that gets us up every day, and putting, it into the challenges into context. When you hear of the challenges, and you can become paralyzed, or you can act. And it's always about local context, about putting it into context. And so I'm gonna, more about our people, like technology is supposed to serve. It's www.sylx.org that will give you a bit about our organization, the Okanagan Nation Alliance, which represents about 7,500 members on this side of the border on Canada, and about 15,000 members in northern Washington state. We're one people, one land, one culture, and we're divided by the transboundary border. And we had to work across 2 sovereigns, 2,000 regulatory agencies, and every kind of regional government you can think of, and committee you can think of, to bring salmon back into the Okanagan River system. And that work continues. So because it's our springtime, our chief, our Ukulmealum, is coming tonight to offer some welcoming thoughts as well. Chief Greg Gabriel from Sinpinkton, just over here, just across in Penticton, the Penticton Indian Band. He's going to come and welcome you as a leader in this part of the territory this evening. And
thank you so much, Pauline. A powerful voice and a community builder of untold strength. Thank you. And thank you for bringing the salmon home.